All right, Pisces and Gemini. Let's get to it. So, Gemini, well, first of all, the sun influences concentration and focus, and it's in the sign of Libra, which expressed means balance, reciprocity, and coming to terms and agreements. You understand what I'm saying? So, this is what both signs are focused on right now as far as expression comes. You know what I mean? But the houses differ. It's in a different house for both of you. Libra's in a different house for the two of you. So as a Pisces, I'm going to speak as a Pisces. If I'm pursuing a Gemini, if I'm advancing on a Gemini, these are the things that I'm going to be looking at for them to be concentrating and focusing on. But also, here are the things that I'm going to be focusing and concentrating on, which are things relative to the 8th house. The Libra is the 8th house for Pisces. So to keep things limited, let's just say secrets, sex, and transformation. All right. Now, Gemini, this does not mean that I'm actually going to be speaking about these things. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be interacting with others about these things. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to be taking action on these particular things. Those will be discussed when I get to those planets that represent those things, which is Mercury, Venus, and Mars. All right. Right now, we're just merely talking about focus and concentration. So I'm harnessing a lot of brain power, if you will, on how my next sexcapade is going to be. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Gemini, now that you notice what's going on in the bedroom, you could be asking yourself this, or you could be quizzing yourself on this, you could be quizzing your Pisces on this. You know what I'm saying? Now that you know where the focus and concentration is. Now, this might start some arguments because you might be like, well, he ain't pursuing me or she ain't pursuing me. What's going on? If they focus and concentration is on sex, why we not getting it in or whatever the case may be? And you got to remember what I'm saying is just because the focus and the concentration is there doesn't mean that the action has to be taken there. Doesn't mean that the communication has to be taken there. The planets influence. They don't compel. They don't force you to do anything, So you could just focus and concentration and concentrate the whole entire Libra season, the two of you, but don't act on any of those things. You understand what I'm saying? Mars is when you take action. Venus is when you interact. And Mercury is when you communicate. Very important to understand these things and to always remember these things. So balance and harmony is going to be coming to a Pisces when it's relative to these things, right? Or in order to obtain those things, rather, is the way that I should put it, which is sex, transformation, and, secrets, or like you could say, occult things that are hidden, then relationships are going to come into play here. The balancing of relationships. How can I form better relationships, nurture and foster better relationships as a Pisces so that I can obtain better sex? Like, it's just flat out simple. That's the equation. You understand what I'm saying? And Gemini fits yourself into that equation of how do you fit. You understand what I'm saying? Now, your focus concentration is in the 5th house though. So that's about fun, leisure time, entertainment, being entertained, kids, children, if you have any or if you're thinking about any, you could be focusing and concentrating on kids at this particular time. And not only that, you would understand that the expression of Libra is how you obtain those things, meaning how you foster and nurture relationships is going to be imperative in how you obtain fun and how you have fun, right? So the more harmonious the relationship is, Libra, the more fun you will have. The less harmonious, the less fun you have. So Gemini, you can make an assessment on that right now. You're focusing and you're concentrating on these things. You could be quizzing yourself on these things right now. Is it like that with your Pisces? You know what I'm saying? And not that it particularly has to be that way, again, because Mercury is about communication. We're not talking about that. Venus is about interaction. We're not talking about that. Mars is for taking action. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about the focus and concentration. However, it does play a part. It does play a part because you get to pondering on these things and you get to say, well, for me to have more fun, what do I have to do with my Pisces? You understand what I'm saying? Because if Libra is the sign of relationships and I'm in a relationship with a Pisces, what do we have to do to crack the code here in order for me to have more fun with them? Because if not, you're selling yourself short, Gemini, right? And Pisces, if you're concentrating on sex and things of that nature, whatever the case may be, 8th house is a more serious house, but at least you can have some fun in the bedroom, right? So that's one place where y'all can click and y'all can connect. I know that it just sounds the way that it sounds, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? The 8th house is about sex, and Pisces can form relationships, nurture relationships there as well. Reciprocal and harmonious relationships when it comes to sex. That's just how it is with Pisces. You know what I'm saying? Lucky us, right? But it's facts. You know what I mean? It doesn't pertain necessarily to more of the fifth house constructs for Gemini, which is like going out to events and going. And I know some Geminis that are real lively, like concerts and all that. Like that means a lot to Gemini. And if Pisces forms better relationships behind the scenes, when Gemini forms better relationships out and about being lively, you can understand where there may be some conflict or some disconnect or whatever the case may be. But at least with this information, y'all know now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know. So you might just have to have the bed element as the fun element that both of you two can connect on. Or if y'all into occult stuff like that, then hey, even better. Y'all could, you know what I'm saying? You might make that fun for the Pisces in some type of way, Gemini, or have fun just studying occult or whatever the case may be. But if you're not having fun doing it, don't force yourself in it, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Just notice the difference between those houses, 5th and 8th, and you got to make it do what it do based upon the characteristics that the signs provide y'all. You know what I mean? It's just astrology. It's just mathematical equations. I don't know what else to tell y'all. But that's where the focus and the concentration is. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into the planet Mercury, which is going to talk about the thought process, learning. It influences learning, speaking, driving even, right? Short distance community trips and stuff like that. It represents community as well. But with Mercury here, Mercury is a lot of the times, or should I say all the times, the secretary of the sun. So where Mercury is placed right now is going to be assisting the sun in where your focus and your concentration is on. Gemini, that's 5th house for you, right? Relationships for you. So it's inside of the 4th house for you. So you want to be looking at your relationships in home, and you're going to be assessing them because the sign is Virgo. You're going to be analyzing your relationship at home. You're going to be looking at how things are going, especially when it comes to the 11th of October, when Mercury goes into the sign of Libra, which is the sign of relationships. You're going to see how whatever you're analyzing right now in your home life, in your domestic life, is going to come into play, whether it's due to preparation, whether it's due to communicating about it, right? Because you're influenced to communicate about the domestic life, about the home life. Should you do so, you don't have to, right? But should you do so, you can see how that will roll over when the 11th comes and it goes into the sign of Libra. This can help nurture your relationships when this comes. You could be on a more communicative level based upon your focus and concentration being on fun right now. And you could say, you know what? I figured it out when I was focusing on concentrating on how to be more fun, how to be more lively with my Pisces, whatever the case may be. When Virgo gets there, when Mercury gets there, into Libra, you'll be able to communicate that more effectively and nurture that relationship to where it's balanced and where it's more harmonious, because I'm telling you this stuff, and this is why we're here learning about this forecast right now. You understand what I'm saying? And for Pisces, it's in the 7th house. So Mercury being in the 7th house for Pisces, they're going to be assessing you, Gemini, if y'all a solidified unit like that, like a solidified partnership. You know what I'm saying? 7th house stuff, that's what that is, It's not 5th house stuff. See, 5th house is dating and romance too. So Gemini, are you on a dating scene or are you in a serious relationship with your Pisces? You understand what I'm saying? If you're on a dating scene, then okay, cool. Because Pisces can also see that as well and be like, okay, well, we're either dating or they're playing the dating field, because that's what their focus and their concentration is on. If they're not, again, then you don't have to be taking action on it, but your focus and concentration could be going back into the dating scene because possibly you're not in a relationship that's balanced enough for you for it to be harmonious and fun. You understand what I'm saying? So you might be looking elsewhere. It just is what it is, y'all. Y'all got to make it do what it do. You know what I mean? But Pisces is going to be analyzing this right now and deciding whether your relationship is a serious 7th house relationship or if it's fading away because you want to have fun, Gemini. You know what I'm saying? And you might be thinking at the same time, like I said, you're going to be thinking about the home life, the domestic life, and be like, well, where's the kids going to come in? Where's the nest egg going to be? Where's our legacy going to be? Are we going to be married when we have these children? Or are you going to be a baby mama? You're going to be a baby daddy? How's this? This is what Gemini is going to be thinking about right now. You know what I mean? Maybe not communicating because, again, the planets don't compel. They don't force you to act. They just influence. They just influence your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to you to determine whether you want to communicate on these things or not, you know? But that's at least where your thoughts are, the two of you, you know? Seventh house stuff for Pisces, the public arena as well. Can you be seen with this Gemini knowing that their focus and concentration might be in the fifth house on dating right now and having fun and going out and doing that stuff? And what if they're doing it without you? You understand what I'm saying? How does it look in the public eye? Do you got enemies because of that? Oh, yo, I seen your girl over there with such and such. I was with your girl last night. We was in the club. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does it make you feel, Pisces? Why does it seem like it's taking a dark twist? I'm just saying this is where stuff is at right now. Y'all, I'm giving y'all pointers on how to make it work, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm giving you the information, you know? So make it work, or make it work how it's supposed to work. You understand what I'm saying? Pretty much. Now, let's get into the planet Venus. Venus influences harmonious interactions. Venus influences money. And Venus influences, what's the other stuff, y'all? Attraction. So what are you attracting in your lives? So for Gemini, Venus is in the fourth house again. So Gemini, you are attracting things to your home, all right? You might even be spending money in your home to decorate the home. You might be spending money on, you might be investing your money in interest-bearing accounts because you want to build a nest egg for later on. Maybe you're preparing for later on. You know what I mean? So these are the things that you're doing because this is more of an analytical approach about money. You know, and Venus falls in Virgo, so it would be wise to actually assess these things and look at these things for you. You know what I mean? And see how they could work out and play for you, because on the other hand of that is Pisces having Venus inside of their seventh house. So they could actually be, how should I put it? They're going to be assessing what they're attracted, so they can identify whether you are still attracted to them right now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in their seventh house of partnerships. So they can be doing that. They can also be interacting with you on a level that is with expenditures, you know what I mean? Being harmonious in that type of way, or just assessing how much they've been interacting with you based upon monetary stuff and saying, well, maybe I got to pull back here, maybe I got a budget here, or, you know, just drawing up different scenarios in their head to say, well, for us to be a better partnership, perhaps I should do it this way next time, you know, change it up a bit, because Virgo is a sign of mutability, you know what I mean? So they might be wanting to change some stuff up around when it comes to the seventh house for you. You understand what I'm saying? So this is where y'all levels of interacting will be at. And you got to understand it's Libra season, right? So where Venus is for y'all right now is going to be imperative to how y'all actually conjoin and meet up with each other, because spending time with each other is going to be, or should I say, there's emphasis put on that right now. All right, it's going to be a big deal. Like, it's going to mean something because we're in the Libra season. You know what I'm saying? So this is where the actual interaction takes place, or where the influence of interaction takes place should y'all interact. So the level of interaction that y'all are going to have together depends on this right here. Now, again, you got to remember that the houses are the result for each of you. They're not the same result. In some types of ways they are. So I'll give you an example. Like fourth house, Venus being there for Gemini, right? This means that the way that y'all interact with each other reflects the home life, or it impacts directly the domestic life, the home life. Should y'all live together, then you can see how this has great significance, right? Okay, so that's cool. But for the individual of a Pisces, is going to directly impact how they are in a relationship as well. So that as well consists of the two of you. So you can see this is where y'all really fare better at. You know what I'm saying? Because Venus is there in two different houses that represent places in your life that entail the two of you, should y'all live together, or at least be thinking about moving in with each other and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because the seventh house is about two or more people, and the fourth house is about family, so you already know that's even more than two people. You understand what I'm saying? So this is y'all strongest suit, if you ask me. Now let's get to Mars. Planet Mars influences taking action, what you want to protect in life. It's about your desire, and it's about a sense of urgency as well. Now, Gemini, for you, this is in your first house. So if I'm a Pisces, which I am, I'm going to be looking at what you take action in doing right now. So remember, everything I said before, you could be focusing and concentrating on one thing, but it doesn't mean you're taking action. You could be thinking about one thing with Mercury, doesn't mean you're taking action. You could be feeling some way about something and interacting with other people, but it doesn't mean that you're taking passionate action on those what you truly desire to do. Where Mars is at is where you're truly going to be influenced to exert desire. You know what I mean? And if you use the Gemini constructs, which is writing, reading, learning, trips, short distance trips around your community and stuff like that, this is all up Gemini's alley. This is what you do on a regular basis, Gemini. So as a Pisces, I'm going to be expecting for you to be Gemini like a Gemini's. You know what I'm saying? And taking off and doing what it is that you do and not feeling offended by it because it's a solo mission. It's a Mars thing. You know what I'm saying? Even with the sex drive and the sex thing and all that, it's still a solo act. You know, you might be masturbating behind, you know, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing, man. You know what I mean? Because that's Mars. It's not Venus. We're talking about Mars right now. You know what I mean? So, also remember at the same time though, Mars is in the 4th house for Pisces and Gemini. So everything that they're doing is going to be relative to the home life that you was basing your Venus on, right? The interaction levels relative to your home life, your domestic life, which includes your Pisces if y'all live together, again, if y'all are family. This Pisces might be on a solo mission doing whatever it is that they got to do to ensure that there's a security blanket there. 4th house is about security, right? Financial security as well. So Pisces can be putting all of their energy on a solo mission. And don't take it personal. Don't be offended by it. But it's just, that's the way that it is. You know what I'm saying? Now, they may take action to communicate this with you because Gemini, the expression is the sign. So Gemini will express that communication should Pisces desire to do so. You know what I'm saying? And tell you, like, look, this is what I'm doing. You know, don't trip or whatever the case may be. This is how I'm doing. And the result is going to be this family life that you're talking about. This family life that you just put your Venus dollars into saving up money and all that. I'm doing the work. I'm investing work into building that nest egg, and you know, it's going to result into that as well. You understand what I'm saying? This is another area where should y'all communicate, it will be effective because you'll see that your Pisces has an energy that is harnessed and directed towards that, and you can keep watch. You know what I'm saying? If you live together or you're together, you're going to be able to identify whether that Pisces is keeping it or being with you or not. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what I got for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Gemini and Pisces, y'all make it do what it do. That's the forecast for y'all for Libra season. And I'm out.